Right.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 38th episode of DevKami, and I am Chilo.
And I'm swimming.
Yeah,
So with Tristan one might ask,
yeah,
I blame a certain phantom that
uh,
okay, so he's at currently watching Phantom of the Opera
yeah.
happening in Istana Budaya. I will have my turn on Saturday. So yeah, it's going interesting. So unfortunately today you had to deal with both of us.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yes. So let's start with event first, right?
Yep. What's a lot of things
So
going on?
so happening on the same day as I go to Phantom Opera. Oh no. Okay, what happened just today is Google Cloud June meetup happening at Google Office. It's about to finish soon. No,
Yeah.
it's actually at work, almost finished soon. So the next one is Google Cloud Next Extended. This one is actually happening in ADEX at Bangsa South. This one I believe is a bit more of many Google Cloud Next event. This is more focused on deep learning and AI. So you're interested, you may go, but I'm not sure whether there's still enough ticket. So happening after that is we have two events happening at the same time on Tuesday, June 25th. The DevOps and Golang meetup. Uh, so DevOps meetup is still on detail. Is this the one at CIMB?
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
happening at
collaboration with CIMB.
correct. Happening at Q Central, Menara CIMB beside Q Central, very near KL Central. Then we have Golang meetup happening at Tatsuri,
Yep.
uh, happening at the same time.
Yep. Unfortunately, because of the Golang is always going to be at the last Tuesday, but because of
Yeah,
DevOps is a bit hard because there's basically 1 or 2 weeks off because of Raya.
yeah,
So yeah, guess we try to not clashing with each others, but unfortunately this month is gonna be it.
yes.
Yep.
And there is it's called the pigeonhole principle. It will clash anyway. So what happened last week?
Last week, what happened? I have no idea.
Okay, so the first thing that happened is our Google Calendar crash.
Oh, okay.
So it took down a lot of websites that use calendar.
Yeah. Oh, you mean right now it's Bus Corner now?
Yeah, it's Buzz
Okay.
Corner.
And Google because we are using Hangout on Air right now,
Mm-hmm.
and it just popped up that there's a notification from Google that they're gonna phase out Hangout on Air later this year. So
So
so the new product that we're supposed to use, the alternative is called the what do you call it, the live stream webcam. I don't know. The product name is
okay,
terrible. Yeah. So it's gonna be parked under the umbrella of YouTube instead of Hangout.
okay. I think we have to start looking at alternative,
Yep.
right? We have a few. Let's see how it goes.
Yep.
Then the next one is we have Alibaba KL, Alibaba Cloud Summit KL.
Yep.
That's not event, just something Maju shared.
And
Uh,
just even though it's gonna happen next 2 weeks, but Angular, the NGMICE conference is gonna happen soon.
yeah,
On the 6th. So I think that is the ticket still available right now?
I doubt it. They sold
All
out
right.
very early.
Okay. How about PyCon?
So we didn't even start yet.
Okay.
And I still try to get a few logistic issue
Okay.
up and running. But we
So
did book a place and all that.
and also I think we regularly we have to update each other's. Like also, Viva Huko is gonna have a regional event.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's gonna be at Singapore on the
Mhm.
31st of August this
Yeah.
year. So check it out. The name is called Women Who Could Connect Asia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back to Bus Corner
Yeah.
because we sidetracked to different event. JetBrains have released a survey, developer survey.
Yeah, results. A
Yeah,
result.
survey result.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty interesting. it's also biased because it occurs to me it bias heavily to JetBrains user. So as a result, you see more Java, C# than say I don't know.
And the stack is a bit different as well.
Correct.
Somewhat. And there are more dogs. And the fun fact, there are more dogs person than cats person.
Yes, I'm a dog person, so.
Yeah, I'm a both person.
So key takeaway, Java is the most popular language. Makes sense
Mm.
because the people that use JetBrains tend to be Java developers.
Yep.
JavaScript is the most used overall language. JavaScript is everywhere.
It's everywhere. You have to learn it, if whether you like it or not.
The most promising language in the survey is Go,
Hey,
and the most studied language is Python.
I think it's also the most hated language.
Put it this way, Go is weird, but it's not too bad. I've seen worse.
Just to explain, like I'm the organizer of the local meetup, but it seems like I became the person who's gonna. I hate to do it, but I hate to defend Go. Like it's something that I use, I like right now, but I'm not gonna defend like the what sort of features that it lacks or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Don't ask me to defend Go, please.
Yes. Unfortunately, we don't do language defending here.
Yeah.
So also, what is the most used operating system? There's Windows, Mac, and Linux.
Yeah.
As I say, it's heavily biased toward corporate developers, right?
Yeah, true. But Windows nowadays gain more use. I think they gain more user base. I guess.
Yep.
Even I use Windows more than ever because of the latest WSL and also the VS Code remote integration. That is a very good feature.
So 70% of the respondents use unit tests, 47% do
It's a
integration.
good number.
Huh?
It's a very good number.
Yeah, it's a good number.
It's a very healthy number that I don't think works for everyone.
Yes. And finally, I think for me, the more interesting one is no, there's actually a few. I'm going to go out.
The fun part?
The developer use Android,
Oh, okay.
which again clarify about the type of user because I expect the industry is a bit leaning toward iOS, but that's just me. Reactive is the most used framework. Yada yada yada. So yeah.
Another fun thing is how it proved that they are actually more business kind of user because they took the survey at home, not at work, which normally we did at work.
Yes. So we are bad employer, and JetBrains user tend to be good.
Yeah, pretty good.
So I think that's interesting one. I will share the link of the developer ecosystem.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it up. I put it up. I'm on it right now. Yeah, Chris, nothing on Coast versus Rust. They are different things. So if you want more, expressiveness, go to Rust.
Yes.
And also something that is very important, I think. Also updates is Google is gonna fork or gonna re-implement libcurl as libcurl.
Yeah.
Which is a very hard to read and very hard to pronounce name, libcurl. And I think they're gonna umbrella it under CrowNet, which is the Chromium API made specifically for the networking for mobile development.
I get confused, but okay.
libcurl.
Yeah.
libcurl.
Yes. All right. So I think that's about the past corner now.
Yeah. What are you going to explain? Because today's episode is about the explainer, which is
today's idea is I want to use today as an experiment for new segments that we might or might not do in the future.
Okay.
Previously, we do not have a name. There is like DevKami Shorts, DevKami Explains, and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
I think I want to call these the explainers, DevKami Explainers, because these will explain about things that we have done, talk about, and believe it or not, across our episode, we have talked about things like civic tech, and we don't actually explain too deeply what is civic tech or digital rights. We don't talk about what is Arduino. We assume that people know what is an Arduino board,
Yeah.
but not too detailed. Or MicroPython, we drop hints a lot all the time. Occasionally, but doesn't mean our episode don't cover deeply into stuff. For example, we have episode focusing heavily on deep learning, and we have an episode heavily toward cargo cults, right?
Yeah.
So today is mostly our experiment. So I want to start with. Before I start, if you've got questions, things that you want us to explain, drop at the message.
Yeah,
Will come in.
I'm on it right now.
Yes. So the first one I want to talk about is MicroPython, right? So who don't know Python here? I think that's hard to say because Chiliam used to be a Python developer.
I'm still a Python developer.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that you still use it primarily in your project, but
I still use it a lot.
okay. I use Python. I'm organizer of PyCon, so I have to use Python. So what is MicroPython, right? Well, it is what it is. It's a small version of Python, right?
Yeah. But what's the difference?
Right.
I'm gonna be the person who assumed that I have no idea what is going on. So
right. So traditionally, when you do project, when you do embedded system project, I refuse to call this an IoT project. Let's stick with embedded system, low power system, microcontroller project. What language do you use?
C.
Yes. So primarily people use C or C++. The default.
I think very rarely C++, right?
Actually, not true because some of the more nowadays your microcontroller system can be up to 32 bit, so it can build on C++. Arduino is C++ based, which is why they can build the abstraction. So the SDK that provided often is C or C++, right?
Yep.
Using high-level language in embedded system is almost unheard of. It's really unheard of. So, but there's a few projects coming on that describe this. One of the most popular one is known as MicroPython. I'm going to share a screen right now. So what is MicroPython? It's a small version of Python. It comes with Python 3, but they only contain a small subset of the Python standard library. So meaning you do not get the whole Python standard library. So Python standard library contains things like URL, regular expression.
But does it come with its own standard library, like some of the bindings?
Correct, they do. In fact, each of the they have different focus for their standard library. So for example, I'm going to open up right now. So their standard library. Okay, so ESP8266 is one standard one. So they have their own networking library for connecting to Wi-Fi. They have NeoPixel is a type of RGB LED, so they have the library for it. So they have a different sort of standard library, but with their own focus. So the focus is on hardware prototyping, and so which is why their library is about GPIO.
So from the look of it looked like when you import the specific module, it's like monkey patching the runtime.
Correct. No, it's more like it's not the runtime. The runtime are built with this kind of thing. So whatever, it's not monkey patching. It's more like it's implemented this way.
Okay.
Right. So, for example, they have small digital device is interesting. So if you look at the standard library, they are very focused on the type of things they do. And unlike your Python library, standard library, they're also hardware specific sometimes. So, for example, a PyBot that don't actually have Wi-Fi would have different sort of interrupt function. The ESP8266 is contains Wi-Fi and things, so they have their own hardware function.
Okay.
So
Oh, okay.
you clear
So,
that part. Yes,
yeah, that okay. Then I understand it.
correct. So is this your C Python? No, this is a different implementation. Then why call it Python? Because it actually implement the Python 3.4 standard. 3.4 standard. So which is a bit later than your C Python. So for example, this one you can't use things like format string and
Yep.
whatnot. Yeah.
The high level one, like adding await and stuff.
Correct.
But I don't think it makes sense under that
Correct.
circumstances.
Correct. But where else? Here's the cool thing. Why I'm very hyped about MicroPython. Other than the fact that the microcontroller is small, an ESP8266, you can get it for 50 ringgit or so. So let's go to my favorite disclaimer. I don't work for Citron. They don't pay us. It's one of my go-to place. So ESP8266. So you can get it for roughly 13 ringgit for a very bare bone one. But you can get something, some good one up to 60 ringgit. With less than 100 ringgit, you can get something for Wi-Fi with GPIO for you to control your devices, and you get internet connectivity, and you can program with Python-like language, which is very powerful, right? So, and also a few side note. The network sensor that we use is actually use M5 stack. That one is based on MicroPython. And finally, the most interesting one that we have is called OpenMVCam. OpenMVCam is so this one is also powered by MicroPython, but you do not get the network. What you get is algorithms and all that, but use powered by MicroPython. So, any question for MicroPython before go on?
Yeah, I think so. Let me check the chat. Nope.
So, yeah. So MicroPython is one of those things that okay. So that's first thing that I can cover MicroPython. I think the only mistake here is I don't have a device to run.
You have to unshare your screen.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Unshare my screen. Stop sharing. So I think the big mistake here is that I have a device downstairs that is the network sensor that is on MicroPython, but I just share some example source code that how it looked like. gis.github.com. Yep.
You know, it reminds me of something I used to use,
Uh-huh.
but it's not as well packaged as that. It's Pickle Leaves. Yeah, do you?
Oh yeah. So Leaves is one of the early one where people used to put on a microcontroller.
There's one called Pickle Leaves, which is a very small Leaps dialect that can interface with C and Java module.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is it's not as well packaged because you have to do it yourself.
Correct. Embedded system project have a tendency to require hands-on. You pretty hands-on about building, which is good or bad. You get customizability, but you have to do more work.
Yep.
But things are getting easier and easier.
Yep. And things are getting more powerful as well.
Correct. Used to be running Python on a small device, unthinkable, right?
Yeah. I remember that when like we can run Linux operating system on Raspberry Pi with Python. That was like a huge deal.
Correct. And now we can even get a lot better, and there's only more opportunity now. So that's our first explainer for MicroPython. So what do you think? Do I should we cover more thing or should we?
Yeah, if you have something to elaborate on, yeah, let's do it.
Now I think I don't have much, but I will share the source code and also the source code for Haze Watch KL. So there is a MicroPython based project, so you can check it out. So yeah, that is what I hype on. So the next thing, okay, if you have any comment about this segment of the explainer, leave a comment because this experiment, today's experiment to get feedback about our explainer, what we can do so that as we do our explainer in the future, we get more, we try to fix it as we go.
Yep.
So the next thing that we want to cover is explain that we keep talking about is called digital rights. And along the way, something about civic tech. So I know Chilong is part of this, but let's pretend that we do not know anything.
Yeah, let's pretend I don't know what is that. What is digital rights?
So here's a question that relatively simple. What can you do when you use a web service? So, or when you using YouTube to stream things right now, what can you say and what you cannot say? What kind of video can you make? Right? It's about your rights online, but your rights online is very vague because often when we go online, we assume that we can say anything. We troll like crazy, right?
Yeah, but I think nowadays it was probably like that, safe to be like that. 10, I think 10 to 20 years ago.
Yes.
Still very common, but nowadays almost everything can be linked back to you.
Yes. So your rights on internet is more than just what you can or cannot say. When I used to be a Sina project full time. One of the things that we deal with is your rights on the digital world. So your rights to be anonymous. Why do you want to be anonymous, right? Your rights to access websites. Your rights to do things online, that is the big term. But each country had different one. But it goes back to this. How much, it also goes back to this, right? How much you can do in the real world that you can do online and vice versa. Is it a good idea to map your things, map your behavior online to offline and offline to online? So here's a good example, right? You almost never troll people in the physical world.
Unless you're me.
Yes. It's more like you can, but you almost always will get caught.
Yeah.
They'll kick you out of the room and whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean not as in like troll. I mean troll as in like a stupid joke or something.
Yes.
Yeah, but causing harm to somebody is a no for physical. I mean physically. So, and one.
Yeah. So, mhm.
Yep.
Go on.
You might want to go on first. I'm going to elaborate on some of the rights thing afterwards.
So you can other thing about your rights online is if you say thing, how do you handle it? So for example, every time we talk about racist comment, so there's two school of thought. Do we want to take it down, or do we want to counter argue? Right? Because things get a little more complicated. In the ideal free speech way, you should able to counter argue, and that's it, right? People are different in the real world, but that's the whole idea of having free speech. So here's the question: then, do we want to block them, or do we want to allow them to happen? In fact,
I think that the difference is you can have an argument in real life, but when it ends, you just end at the spot.
Yeah.
But
correct.
I like that, like probably something stupid that you say right now, somebody will still bring it up and continue on the argument 10 years later.
Correct. In the real world, what you say need to be recorded and all that. Online, all your stuff are automatically recorded. So
And
that's the world.
I'm a firm believer that people can change because of we always face different circumstances, and of course because of that we will change, like I mean, for the better. So
Correct.
so even though something stupid that you say right now might be something that you regretted and want it to be down afterwards,
Yeah.
but because it's there, it never get taken down.
Mhm.
You'll still be penalized by the consequences,
Correct.
like
So this is
indefinitely.
on speech side, right?
Yeah.
The digital rights also about ownership. Uh, so ownership, like we got a lot of cool one. So let's say you buy a game on Steam. Do you own it?
No.
Yeah, precisely because they can't take it down whenever they need, right? Uh, which is why people still buy physical
It's
games
basically a
because
subscription without a recurring payment.
correct. When you uh, so when you buy a book, can you share it with your friend? The short
Mm.
answer is depends because there's a thing called DRM. Because once you have on the by default, digital objects, files and whatnot can be copied.
Yeah.
That's the default mode, right? As a result, we can copy our files to everyone, right? Uh, Books is slightly different. You have only one book, and you can make a copy, but that is some work. You have to take a lot of work to do that. So this actually cause a lot of problem now. You own a book, right? You own a book, and you can do whatever you can with a book. You can lend it to a book and all that. And in the real world, that's fine because you only have one book. You only have one book. And photocopy shop legally doesn't allow photocopying, and
Yeah.
that's a bit complicated.
But it's very common, a very common practice here.
Correct, correct. Uh, so, on digital world, you have DRM, so you got more complicated. So now publisher of any media want to have same limitation for your books and stuff, your newspaper, so that one person can use it at one time.
Yeah.
But now you got legal issue and more important philosophical issue. Uh, should people share whatever they can, or should people do whatever they want with their media, right? My opinion is I bought my stuff, I can do whatever I want. But if I share to my friend doesn't mean I do not respect your intellectual property.
Yeah.
I will pay for your stuff and I will pay for your book if you
I
like
have
it.
I have a very I have a practice that might a bit piss some people off.
Yeah,
It's very curious. Is that I I consume stuff, like I'll buy books and
yeah,
movies and subscribe to this and that, but I'll still pirate because of convenience. So in the
yeah,
case of that, like it's like I'm gonna buy this book, but you're gonna before it arrive, I'm gonna download a illegal copy of it somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah,
So that's get a bit complicated, right? You do support the publisher, the author,
yeah.
but should you copy? So, which is why when you talk about digital rights, it's actually very deep, and often people around, I'm sorry
Uh,
to say,
Something very
around the tech
simple is
circle,
that something that I would do as well. Like nowadays, like we basically buy our games, right? Like I'm
yeah,
so have to put up a disclaimer first. I don't pirate my games. I still buy games, but
yeah,
I'll still apply pirate patches because publishers, because they're afraid you are gonna pirate the game's gonna put some really stupidly DRM. They're gonna cause your game to not perform. So I've
yeah.
still applied the pirated patches.
Okay,
So
interesting.
what line am I lying on that? I mean, and
Yeah,
I'm a
that's
firm believer that anti-piracy doesn't actually hurt the people that pirates. They're gonna hurt
yeah,
the people who support it.
yes.
Like just like me, like
and it happened. It didn't happen the first time. So when people try to apply the real world rule on ownership to digital world, things get weird and things get out of hand before. Malware have been installed and whatnot, right? So what's the line? What's the ethics? So digital rights, when people say it's a waste of time, not true, right? It go from talk to ownership. Now you go to the very latest thing, surveillance state. Most people don't care about privacy, but maybe you do not need to because they got some advantage. Maybe you want to because you do not want to see people have sex, or you see you have seen sex, for example, or naked body of yourself, right? Because nobody should able to see naked body of yourself unless you really want to show them, right? So digital right is really about setting up boundaries about rules on the internet, what is okay and what is not. And often when we software engineers build stuff, we do not have ethics on hand. Uh, very true, getting very true when you have machine learning system. When you build, when your data collection may be biased towards certain people, happen a lot. People, for example, you go use ride sharing service as your data set, then you're biased toward the middle class. For example, right? If you take data from Kuala Lumpur, your data will not be representative for Ipoh because there is difference. You can and
Oh, I just found out about this word about like the people that we will often say middle class,
yeah,
but like basically people not necessarily have too much money to spend, but they use a lot of like subscription or kind of this kind of subscription services or gig services, and they spend a lot more time on enriching themselves instead of consuming.
yeah,
There's actually a name for it. It's called a social. It's called a social shit. I forgot the name. It's called social elite.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
they
a new.
consume and that.
It's a new elite class.
Yeah.
Yep.
So so now your digital rights is on your privacy and data collection. Then finally, you get other things like fake news and all that. So it's about rules on the internet, what you can or cannot do, and sometimes rules are not law. It's rules of code of conduct. So, for example,
Code of conduct.
so and nobody gets it right yet. I'm going to tell you, nobody gets it right yet. Uh, so that's the thing about digital rights. I think I should expand a bit more about other thing. And oh yeah, why digital right is more important now. So just I say that as you do more work, all your work have impact, even though we don't realize it. So a very cool idea is it's about human psychology. You have a tweet online with 5 likes versus a tweet that have 100 likes. Okay, just use likes and maybe even 100 retweet, 5 retweet. Which one you take more seriously? So most people take the one with most like tweet more seriously, right? It's human psychology. A tweet is actually a retweet is representing as a recognition of status.
Yeah, but does it own transfer of ownership or a copy?
Nobody knows, right? But that's where people use it for which is why some people call social media a weapon of mass destruction. I think it's a bit too far, but they are not wrong in the way that technology can sway opinion. Because technology can sway opinion, digital rights get more important.
No, I don't think technology is fake. I think technology is easy to disseminate. It's semantics, of course.
Correct.
But it doesn't do anything.
No, it's the intention of people, and people can use it as a tool.
Yeah.
Because on the internet, so in the real world, there's a difference between a tabloid and a newspaper. So a lot of people use tabloid, but the newspaper are taken more seriously because there is a reputation. So even though a tabloid will have more circulation, when people want fact, they go to the newspaper often.
Yeah. But and
Correct.
also they always try to credit where they get the source.
So they have a practice rules for hundreds of years to get things right. Social media, they don't have such distinction. The distinction is relatively easy. You have 100 tweet, that's interesting. I might even retweet you. Know what I mean, it's very easy to add a like and all that without context. There's no context for a like, retweet, and whatnot. And what does this got to do with your rights? When we build software, having a like and all that it's a fun thing to have. Ooh, your joke is funny, give you a like. Your joke is funny, I give you a retweet, it's awesome, right? Cool picture, awesome, bro, retweet. Know what I mean? So it's very simple until people use it to sway opinion. So you get it used to be a time before social media take moderation more seriously. You get a lot of brutality videos and all that. With disturbing because people are upset, therefore they will reshare and it cause more thing. Yes, it's people's fault, but it's people's nature to get angry.
I think
and
also
share.
people who move forward to social media were people moving over from forums.
Yes,
Yeah, forums were really brutal. If I
correct.
want to say, yeah.
So I think digital rights and all that is getting more important now because what we do may be innocent, but the impact is actually deeper.
Mm.
And often when we build project, we don't care, and that have consequences because it can bite us. So that's my thing about digital rights. It's not just about rules, norms, but it's also think deeper philosophically about the tools that we build, the thing that we say, and whatnot.
And one
Uh,
thing that is, I think, is related is the rights to repair.
yeah, yes,
So,
that's another thing, right? Ownership. Go back to ownership.
yeah.
Do you have right to repair your thing? So it's not just digital online, but it's your things, right? So yeah, rights to repair. Are you allowed to install old operating system that you own,
Yeah.
or the old computer that is dying?
Yeah.
You have a tractor, can you repair it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Or you
Uh,
are using something that especially affects a lot of people is that something that, let's say you have a medical device that will bet your life on,
yeah,
but it is discontinued by the manufacturer.
yes,
But so in that case, should you be able, I mean, to mod it, to repair it legally?
yes,
Because
correct,
in a lot of cases it is not, right?
correct.
So and also,
So
yeah.
precisely. So that is an extreme case. And most people would look at digital ownership of fixing things with a very trivial term. Just buy a new one. Just get a new thing. Uh, that's a bad idea. We learn that now. We have too many plastic that we buy, right? Or something like people can't afford to buy computers. You want them to buy a new one or want to fix the old one, etc. So digital right, very wide. It
Very
covers
much.
physical to these rules involving your digital things, internet devices, your computers, television, whether
And
you
in a bit of a fear mongering kind of message is that if we don't care about it, it'll be gone from us.
correct.
So
Uh, Not always is a bad thing and not always a good thing. So here's a few books that I would recommend. Uh, they're somewhat relevant and organization you should follow. The first book, I will share the book online. It's called Weapon of Mad Destruction. That's the one. Attention Merchant.
are you
Okay,
sharing it to the chat?
I'm opening up the link right now.
Okay. So meanwhile, okay, to go off topic a bit because Chris
Yeah,
actually asked this pretty late. Is there
Yeah.
a good IDE to use? I mean, for MicroPython, because he's
I
actually
think,
trying to use decoder.
yeah.
It doesn't support MicroPython.
MicroPython as an IDE is not that nature, but that being said, I believe Platform IO may have support for it, but the tool set for MicroPython is not as good yet.
But
There
normally
is
we
some
use, but normally we use something like let's say for Arduino, we're gonna use the Arduino editor, right?
yeah, but we're not using that. We are a bit more lower level. We use Vim, but to sync up between the tools, we use things the MicroPython uploaders.
Oh, okay.
There's a few of those because MicroPython implements an open protocol for you to upload files, transfer files over. So that's the way we program it right now. The toolkit are not as good yet because it's the last time I support the ESP8266 MicroPython for ESP8266 is 4 years back, less than 4 years, it's 3 years back. I know because I actually backed the Kickstarter. So uh, so the toolkit's not there yet, but it's pretty good. You can use Vim lah. So and the uploader. There's 3 books I would recommend right now. One is called Team Human, Weapons of Mass Destruction, and Weapon of Mass Destruction, and Attention Merchant, which is not necessarily about technology, but it is about Attention Merchant is about advertising.
Yep.
So advertising in a way that how do they want to influence people and all that is a very good thinking. And the Attention Merchant by Team Wood is way beyond this technology. It's about how do you get people to like things and whatnot.
Yeah, it's it's not just to track us, but to influence our decision making.
Correct.
Like for some of the Pokemon Go fans will hate me for it. It's like Pokemon Go's will dictate where you should go.
Yeah, correct. So and they can do that. Technology can do that, but there is a opposite side of whatever the warning is. The good book is called Homo Deus by Yuval Harari. So his argument about privacy and all, well, he said we need some privacy, but let's say in the future, where we have a society that do not really care about privacy, they may get benefit because it's easier to use data.
I just got reminded of this term that I heard it recently. It's called surveillance capitalism.
Yeah, I'm going to read those books soon.
No, it's not a book. Is there a book?
Yeah, there's a book about. There's a few books about surveillance.
Yeah, the age of surveillance capitalism. Yeah.
Correct. So for him, he thought about. He's a historian that's known for medieval history, but he attempts to look at the future, how people will evolve societally. So in his case, maybe there is a culture of people that do not believe in surveillance and they get benefits. It's easy for them to get services to analyze their data and give them good services. Which is actually happening in China right now, for example.
Oh, Homo Deus actually written by Shoshana.
Really?
No, they. Oh no. You mentioned Shoshana Zuboff.
Okay.
Which book that you mentioned just now? Human Rights in the Age of Platform.
Oh no, I didn't read that book.
Okay.
I think you heard some. I think it might look at your list.
Yeah, because
so
yeah. Okay.
So either way, I think the debate is still on. They have a lot of right or wrong. There is no right or wrong yet. My line for that is that it gets people killed, you're wrong. So that's my rules lah.
I think people are still still gauging like the how to balance it out. It's not like I don't believe it's a malintention most of
Yes.
the time. More like because it's still new, like we still have no idea the kind of boundary that we can go until something bad happen. Like
Yes.
like we always as a developer we always are a bit too confident with the algorithm that we deploy.
Yes. So, and to me right now is that people want software that works. I want software that you can negotiate, but that's just me, for example. And why? Because rules and norms are different across time. So I think we should spend a time they talk about this kind of rules. Oh well. So that's my second topic, digital rights. Why digital rights is about rules, norms, and
Yeah,
technology and philosophy about digital
yeah.
objects
We're
and
gonna have
digital
a
world.
guest soon up here to talk about digital rights, I guess.
Yes.
Uh,
And who is it? Let's keep it a
John,
surprise. What's it called? Yeah, it's John.
John, yeah.
Who else, right?
I
So, yeah. So I think that's a two topic I want to already cover on the explainer. Again, tell me whether it's too long, what works, what doesn't work. Chances is the explainer will be shorter. It will be like almost 20 minutes. That's why I aim for. Could be less. Some podcasts they do explainer video for 5 minutes. Maybe we should aim for that as well. And
yeah,
it will be a separate show from DevKami, lah,
yeah.
most probably. But I'm still doing that.
We're still experimenting like what is the thing to go forward.
Correct. So, so I think this is a two thing. Anything you want us to explain that we keep talking about?
Uh, what sort of stuff? I have no idea.
Yeah, no, but I think that's about it. We might be very early.
Yeah.
So let's cover a few things on our chat.
Yeah, we already covered them. Like,
Okay, Nick Hill.
Nicholas said you can do it part one, part two. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. It
A
depends how long
small,
a topic is.
a mini series. Yeah, it doesn't need to be in a fixed length. It can be like
Correct,
until you finish it.
correct. Because for example, I think the digital rights one, I'm split it into like ownership, privacy, and etc. It might be a 5%, five thing lah. So 5 part thing, maybe. I don't have a good idea yet. So yeah,
So
it's possible. I don't have a strong idea yet, other than the fact that I think it's a good idea to do explainers. And I think that it's benefit because we are technologists, meaning we know how to do things.
and also like it forces to rethink or restructure our the way or to train us how to explain certain concepts to people.
Correct. And it's the world of the internet, meaning people only have
Five.
attentions. Yeah, five
It's
minutes.
not gonna be 5 hour. Like I don't think I can last that long.
No, I'm not going to do a 5 hour. That's a tutorial, man. You had to
I
pay me
think
for
there's
that.
something that I heard from some other YouTuber is that try to keep everything, if possible, try to keep everything within 15 minutes because that's the longest attention span people have.
Correct. Yeah. 15 minutes is one of those things that we should aim for. So what happened is some of the science explanation that go like at most at most. The camera one that had tendency to go all the way to 1 hour. So the photography one. So I tried to figure out which is. I don't think I'm gonna follow the photography one. I like photography. I learned it. I do learn a lot. I just think 1 hour is too long. 20 minutes is stretching it in a way. Uh, 20 minutes stretching it. 15 minutes is good. 5 minutes is better
It can be
actually.
5 minutes. 5 minutes for a short tips and tricks, something like that.
Correct. So we won't be doing a 5 hour unless we got paid on our Patreon, which we don't have yet. Just kidding. All right. But that said, Tristan do talk about having a tutorial session. I don't think
Yeah,
that will be 5 hours, but that will be something.
we're gonna do that like
Yeah, I'm not so.
next 2 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, next 2 weeks or so. So yeah. So what else? Yeah. So Nicholas is saying that there is like clickbaity topic. Yeah. Let's see. We may or may not do clickbait topic. Let's see. because we're not BuzzFeed, so we suck at that. So
We're not the professionals.
yeah, we might, but we might do more. I got a feeling that I might do more book review though. I'm not sure whether I want to do a dedicated show. Or
I think we can do a book review because we read quite a number of books.
Yeah, I just finished my 50+ book.
Yeah, good on
Okay,
you.
so disclaimer, the last 6 book is comics volume. So that don't count.
I just picked up a comic recently.
Huh?
From I think it's called. I haven't started, but I just picked it up. Why the Last Man from Vertigo?
Okay. Mine is manga. I discovered that it's possible to get manga over on Amazon. So the book I'm reading, the manga I'm reading is called Space Brothers. I highly recommend it. Let me show you. I hope I can show you. No, it's not responsive anymore. So can you see it?
Yeah.
So Space Brothers.
Yeah, I'm gonna share it from your Goodreads because you shared it on Goodreads. So
yeah,
we use
Space
Goodreads to track what we read. So
correct.
in case you don't know.
I think Space Brothers is cool. It's a cool story.
Okay.
So that's it. What else do we miss? Oh, interesting. I didn't log in yet. Fascinating. Oh well. So I think, do we want to end early or do you have a question?
I have no question.
So, and online, do you have any question? I suppose we can.
I'm trying to keep. I'm trying to keep just after I try to keep a routine. Apparently, my body likes routine.
Okay.
So if I follow a certain schedule, my body will behave. You'll be healthier.
Okay.
I'll get more performance and actually sleep less and more energetic. But I need to keep a routine. So it's a new finding that I have.
Right. That explains why I can't log in to Goodreads. It's on. I don't use Chrome heavily.
Yeah.
Just get here. So I try to see what is the thing on my list that I should share.
Oh, also, I'm not sure if you follow. Do you follow fantasy series?
Fantasy series, not really.
Amazon is gonna come up with a series of adaptation of Wheel of Time.
Okay.
So they just announced one of the cast. So.
Okay. My last series I follow is The Magicians. I'm not sure whether they're going to do a new version.
I don't know. How close? I actually watched the TV series. How close was that?
I don't know. I didn't read the book. I'm going to pick up the book soon.
Oh, okay.
But I got a feeling that so I read the summary on Wikipedia. It's different. So I think the book is still worth reading.
Okay. I got a book actually.
Yep. I'm going to read that soon. Let me see.
I think I acquire books faster than I can read them.
Yeah. I think I don't have much fantasy on my list. I should pick up some.
Okay. Do you want to end early?
Yeah. If you have no question.
Yeah. Chris actually agrees on the routine part.
Yeah.
So, somehow the body like it. The body dictates.
The body dictates. Of course.
I think we're gonna end early. We're not actually exactly cheating. It's 5 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
And don't forget, the show used to be 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Then we sort of drag it on for 1 hour because 30 minutes is too short. So
yeah.
So okay.
This one, if we end early, we can blame Tristan.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna end.
Alright, so
okay.
We're gonna end early.
So we're gonna see you guys next week.
Yes, with the full cast and all that.
Yeah.
So see ya.
Yeah.